Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Savannah Chrisley loses it, threatens Kyle and wife. Savannah Chrisley had a breakdown on social media. She then threatened Kyle Chrisley and his wife. This all happened after Kyle posted after Julie Chrisley's sentencing hearing. Fans were shocked to hear what she had to say. Kyle also responded to her threat. Keep reading to find out more about this whole situation. Savannah Chrisley fights for mom's freedom. Julie Chrisley had her sentencing hearing. However, she received the same amount of time that she was originally sentenced. Savannah was not happy with the outcome. She thinks it was an injustice. Julie's attorney also revealed that he thinks it is due to her fame. Savannah was also devastated about her mother not getting to come home. She had hoped that she would get out that day. Savannah had even planned a party for her mom when she got to come home. However, she is not coming home anytime soon. She still has to serve about 5 years. Threatens Kyle and his wife. Savannah Chrisley was not happy to see that her brother, Kyle, had posted about her mother's sentencing. The two of them are not going to agree on the matter. Savannah is not close with Kyle nor her sister, Lindsay. They more than likely will never rekindle. It seems that Savannah did not appreciate Kyle posting about her mother. She felt as though it was only for publicity and traction on his social media. Fans truly do not know if his post was genuine or not. However, Savannah is not afraid to stand up for what she believes in and call people out even if they are her own siblings. Savannah Chrisley had always been known for her strong personality and unyielding sense of loyalty to her family. However, even those closest to her hadn't seen her reach the boiling point she hit recently. Tensions had been mounting, and it was only a matter of time before Savannah's frustration spilled over, reaching her older brother, Kyle, and his wife. What started as a series of small disagreements had spiraled into a situation no one anticipated, least of all Savannah herself. It all began with a family get-together. The Chrisley family gatherings were known for their laughter, playful banter, and maybe a little drama, but this time the atmosphere was tense. Savannah had noticed small shifts in Kyle's behavior over recent weeks. He was distant, often dismissive, and less engaged with the family. Savannah sensed there was something going on with Kyle, and she was determined to get to the bottom of it. Her mind churned with all kinds of possibilities, and being the protector she was, she couldn't sit back and let whatever was bothering her brother continue. But as Savannah pulled Kyle aside that afternoon, the conversation quickly turned heated. Kyle, his eyes narrowing with frustration, was tired of what he called the Chrisley meddling. He had a new life now, with his wife by his side, and he was determined to establish boundaries, something Savannah took personally. For her, family came first always. She couldn't understand why Kyle would want to distance himself from the family who had stuck with him through so many rough patches in his life. "Why are you acting like this, Kyle?" Savannah's voice was low, but the tension was unmistakable. "I don't need you to fix my problems, Savannah. I don't need you or Dad or anyone else in my business," he shot back, barely looking at her as he spoke. That sentence was all it took. Savannah felt a mix of hurt and anger surge through her veins. Kyle's words echoed in her mind, a stark contrast to the countless times she'd been there to support him. Kyle had been through difficult years, and Savannah had been his staunch supporter. Hearing him push her away now felt like a slap in the face. It was later that night, after stewing over their conversation, that Savannah reached her breaking point. She couldn't hold back her emotions any longer. She felt as though she'd been betrayed by someone she'd sacrificed so much for. In a moment of frustration, Savannah called Kyle, her voice shaky but determined. She wasn't about to let this end with misunderstandings and resentment. "Kyle, I'm done. I'm not going to sit around and watch you throw your family away. You think we're meddling? We care about you, and that's never going to change," she said, her voice a mixture of anger and sadness. Kyle sighed on the other end of the line. "Savannah, this isn't about you. It's about me having my own life with my wife. Can you understand that?" Savannah's voice wavered. "I get it, Kyle. You want your independence, your space. But don't shut us out. Don't shut me out." For a moment, there was silence on the line. Savannah could almost hear the gears turning in Kyle's head as he processed her words. But instead of finding common ground, Kyle's reply only deepened the divide. "This isn't about you," he repeated. "I'm trying to start over, to live my life without all the Chrisley drama." The term Chrisley drama cut deeper than Savannah anticipated. The Chrisley name wasn't just a name to her, it was her identity, her family, and her pride. The idea of Kyle distancing himself from everything that defined them felt like a betrayal of everything she held dear. It didn't take long before Savannah decided to have a face-to-face meeting with Kyle and his wife. She felt that if she could just get them to see her side, maybe they could patch things up before things got worse. As she approached Kyle's house, Savannah's heart raced. She wasn't sure what to expect, but she knew this confrontation would either fix their strained relationship or break it. Kyle's wife answered the door, her face tense as she invited Savannah inside. Savannah noticed how the usually welcoming atmosphere was thick with tension. She sat down, her hands clasped tightly together, and looked at Kyle, who refused to meet her gaze. "Listen, I'm here because I love you, Kyle," Savannah began, trying to keep her voice steady. "I know we're different, but we've always had each other's backs. I don't want to lose that." Kyle sighed, glancing over at his wife, who shifted uncomfortably. "Savannah, I appreciate you coming here, but you've got to let me figure this out on my own. I don't need you stepping in and trying to fix things. I need you to respect my decisions." Savannah's patience finally snapped. "Respect your decisions?" she replied, her voice rising. "I've always respected your decisions, even the bad ones. I stood by you through everything, Kyle. And now, when I'm trying to understand what's going on, you just want to shut me out." Kyle's wife interjected, her voice calm but firm. "Savannah, I think what Kyle's trying to say is that we need space to build our lives together. Maybe it's hard for you to understand that right now, but we need you to respect our boundaries." The words struck Savannah like a blow. She felt cornered, as if the family she had fought so hard to keep together was slipping away right before her eyes. She looked at Kyle, trying to read his expression, but he was a wall. Savannah rose from her seat, feeling a mixture of heartbreak and anger. "If that's what you both want, then fine, but don't come back when you realize that family is all you've got," she said, her voice barely a whisper, choked with emotion. With that, she turned and walked out, leaving Kyle and his wife in stunned silence. Savannah's heart pounded as she made her way back to her car, emotions swirling in her mind. She had always been the strong one, the one who held everyone together, and now she felt as though she was watching her family slip through her fingers. But if this was the new path Kyle had chosen, Savannah knew she had no choice but to let him go, even if it hurt. As she drove away, Savannah vowed to herself that she wouldn't let this rift destroy her. She was a Chrisley, and while her family had its fair share of drama, love and loyalty had always been the bedrock. Savannah resolved to carry that torch, no matter what. The tension had been simmering for weeks, but the Chrisley family was never one to shy away from conflict. After Todd and Julie's legal battles, the family had been navigating their newfound dynamics with the strength and loyalty that only came from deep familial bonds, or so they thought. Yet, behind closed doors, resentments lingered and past wounds festered. When Savannah Chrisley finally snapped, no one was prepared for the intensity of her response, least of all her brother Kyle and his wife. It all started innocuously enough, with a family gathering at Chase's new condo. Savannah had initially been thrilled for the chance to reconnect with everyone, with so much in their lives changing, careers evolving, relationships growing and fading. She thought they could use a break. However, Kyle's arrival with his wife soon cast a shadow on her sunny disposition. It was nothing anyone else might have noticed, but Savannah, ever perceptive, could feel the underlying current of tension, the barely hidden judgment in their expressions.